Hey guys, it's that time again, so let's take a peek and see how big our snakes have grown over the last 3 months. Come on. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, and man, do I need a haircut. But yeah, hey, that's not what this video is about, right? But I'm Chris with CNC Reptiles. We are a family of ball python keepers that really enjoy just keeping ball pythons and then sharing those experiences right here on YouTube. As I said in the intro, we are at that time again where here at CNC Reptiles, we are, we've only been at this for a little over 18 months now. And so we're still very much in the learning phase of keeping ball pythons. And so what we do is about every 3 months or so, we take a quick look back and we say, okay, how big have these snakes gotten over the last 3 months? And so because we're still learning, I weigh kind of the prey items every week before we feed, and I weigh the snake every week as well. We've only got 6 snakes, so it's not like it's taking just a huge amount of time, but it's helping us just kind of understand as we've grown snakes from hatchlings now to adults that we'll see here in a minute. It's really helping us understand how fast our animals are growing, how much body weight they're keeping on and things of that nature. And so that's what this video is about, is we're going to take a quick look at all our snakes. We'll probably chop this up into 2, maybe 3 videos, because it can get a little bit long, and I'd really like to spend a little bit more time with each snake than worrying about hurrying through some of the numbers. There are a few things that we actually look at. So the first thing that we look at, obviously, is weight. So we kind of take a look at, okay, here's where they started the quarter. Here's where they started and here's where they ended, right? So how much weight did they gain over that 3 months? And that specifically is really important, and we're really excited to see where they ended, because this is going to give us a really good indication of how they're going to grow over the next 3 quarters to this coming October, November, when we take our first dip in the pool, if you will, of breeding ball python. So that's really, really exciting. So definitely stick around, give us a like and a follow down below. Subscribe so that you can follow that journey and see how we do that later this year. But so that's the first thing, is we see the weight. The next thing, because we are weighing all the feeders, we know how much we fed them. We know how much they've gained, so we can see kind of a percentage that they're keeping in body weight, which is really interesting to watch quarter over quarter how they grow, how fast they grow, and then we can kind of compare each individual snake to one another and see, okay, how is this normal? Do we have kind of an outlier? So that really interesting data. The next thing that we started doing a little bit late with our first couple of snakes is we're looking at the length. Now, length is not necessarily something in the ball python hobby we really worry about. It's really much more kind of the age and the weight of the animal, especially in regards to breeding. But we thought that would be interesting to kind of see, okay, well, how long, in each individual quarter, how much length are they growing, right? And again, kind of compare that snake to snake. And so just some interesting points that we really like to watch for and kind of help ourselves learn, and again, just kind of take you on the journey with us. So I think in today's video, I think we'll start with the first 2 snakes that we got. That's kind of how we usually start these videos. So today we're going to take a look at Cutie, that is our piebald female, and we'll take a look at Bubbles, our clown. So I tell you what, let me grab Cutie and let's take a look and see how big she's got. Hang on just a second. All right, guys, so here we go. So first up, we have Miss Cutie. Now, for those of you who've been with us for a little bit, you guys know Miss Cutie. Cutie is our piebald female. She is a recessive gene. So so mom and dad had to both carry a copy of the gene for Cutie to look how Cutie looks. She's getting a little dull, so she's probably about to go into shed here, I would think this next week, potentially. But Cutie is by a pretty good bit our largest female. So let's kind of take a look at the numbers, and we'll see how big Cutie's gotten these last 3 months. Now, I've got some notes up here, guys, because I certainly can't remember how big they got. But so when we started in what would that have been? I guess October. Cutie started off weighing 1,145 grams. Okay, so nice size, just over 1,000 grams there when we started. She ended, so the last measurement in December, the end of December, she was 1,484 grams. So that is a 339 gram increase in the 3 months. So what is that, about 110 grams a month. So, you know, really put on some nice size in that last quarter of 2020. And look just how beautiful and orange she is. You know, for just a regular, if you will, piebald, man, I just really love the orange markings that it seems like she's continuing to keep. But so 339 grams over that last quarter. So when we look at how much, so she had a little over 1,200 grams in meals. So the 13 rats that she ate over the last quarter were 1,228 grams, okay? So when you divide that out, that means she kept 27.61%, so just over a fourth of everything that she ate, she kept on in body weight. That's just crazy to me. Now, when we look at that over the previous quarter, so Q3 of 2020, she was at 27.43, so just slightly over, but basically the same amount of percent of body weight, or percent to body weight, I guess you could say, is what she kept on from all the meals that she ate. So she is growing really nicely. Now, it is interesting to see. So even though she's at 27%, a couple of quarters before that, she was at like 30 and 40%. So it makes sense that even though they're getting the bigger meals and they're adding on more weight, the percentage is going down, right? I mean, it kind of makes sense that that's going to slow down. I doubt that they could keep up that growth rate for their entire lives. Now, so if we look at the length, so she started out at 3 feet, just over 10 inches, 3 feet, 10.4 inches, and she ended at 4 feet, 1.61 inches. So when you think the average size of a female ball python is somewhere between 4 and 5 feet, she's just over that 4 foot mark. So that was a gain of 3.21 inches, which is way down. It's about half of what she gained in Q3. Q3, she gained 6.9 inches in length over Q3 of 2020. So that kind of makes sense too, right? I mean, she's kind of getting close to what that average is, 4 to 5 feet, right? So really you would think that's going to slow down. I wouldn't expect to see her gain just a whole heck of a lot over the next few quarters. I think I've heard somewhere between 2 and 3 years is, so she's about halfway there. She's 18 months old and basically right at, 1484, so just under 1,500 grams. So technically where she's sitting right now, she's pretty, she's right at that 1,500 gram mark that is generally accepted as the minimum weight to breed ball pythons, right? So she's got quite a long time to go until October, November. Oh, come here, girl. So let's kind of average that out, right? So if we looked over the last 3 quarters and we said what if she just averaged what she averaged over the last 3 quarters, she would gain 309 grams per quarter. So Q1, Q2, and Q3 of 2021, if she gains 309 grams, which has been her average for the last 3 quarters of 2020, she would gain 927 grams by the end of October, by the end of September, 927 grams, which would put her just over 2,400 grams, right? So that's kind of hard to imagine her gaining another basically 1,000 grams from where she's at today. She is, if this is 1,500 grams, if this is what 1,500 grams looks like, man, it's hard to believe that that's big enough to house eggs, right? So she's kind of long and slender to me. Granted, I've never bred ball pythons, but she seems kind of long and slender. So for her to add another 1,000 grams and maybe not add but an inch or two, you can come say hi, maybe not add but an inch or two in length, then she'll beef up quite a bit. So we'll be looking for her to be about 2,400 to 2,500 grams by the time we start breeding season here in 2021. So that is pretty awesome. So there again, guys, is Miss Cutie. Hard to believe she used to fit in the palm of my hand, and now I can barely hold her with one hand. So that is Cutie Pie. All right, guys, so let's talk about Bubbles. Now, again, if you've been with the channel at all, you know Miss Bubbles. We got her at the same time as Cutie. Miss Bubbles is a clown, so she is a recessive trait, or recessive gene, I should say, as well. Hello, sweet girl. And so Mom and Dad both had to carry the gene for Bubbles to look like Bubbles. She is a fairly reduced pattern clown for being just a, I should never say that because these are all amazing animals, but for being a single gene clown, not having any dominant or codominance, fairly reduced for a clown. But let's take a look at Miss Bubbles' numbers here. So she started out in October at 985 grams, and she ended at 1,217 grams, so just over 1,200 grams. That's 232 grams in weight, okay? Now, the interesting thing about Bubbles used to be very, very much like Cutie, where she just ate nonstop. And so some of the things we've noticed about Bubbles here over the last probably 6 months, she now does not like to eat while she's in shed, which is fine. That just means she usually misses a couple of meals a quarter, no huge deal, right? And right at that 1,000-gram wall, so right as she was, right at the 1,000-gram wall, she went off food for about, I don't know, two or three meals. But now she's picked back up, and other than, like I said, when she's in shed, she's eating very, very well. So she only had 11 meals. She's gonna say hi to the camera as well. She only had 11 meals for 812 grams. Okay, no, you can't go to the camera. You can just say hi. So that puts her at 28.57% of everything she ate last quarter, or the last 3 months, ended in body weight. Okay, so just over 1,200 grams. Now, the quarter before that, so Q3, she was actually at 31.25% was held in body weight. So did come down some, is much more in line with what Cutie is as far as what she's retaining. So just over about a quarter of everything she eats, which she's on medium, both her and Cutie are now on medium rats. Hey, sweet girl. And so, probably around 100 to 110 grams. So they're keeping about 25 grams of body weight with every meal. Now, when we look at the length for Bubbles, she started at 3 feet, 9.17 inches, ended at 3 feet, 10.24 inches. So gained just over an inch in length. Way down from, again, the quarter before, where she gained over 5 inches in length in Q3 of 2020. So definitely slowing down on the length, and should probably start putting a little bit more girth on. Different body structure for Bubbles than Cutie, where Cutie is very kind of lean and muscular. Bubbles is almost looks like she should fill out more. Kind of just gives this feeling that she needs to have more weight on her. Not that she's underweight. I don't think she's underweight by any stretch. But just kind of has this feeling that she needs a little bit more weight, okay? So if we did the same thing that we did with Cutie and kind of extrapolate out the last 3 quarters average for the next 3 quarters of 2021, she would gain, let's see, what is it? 247.5 per quarter, okay? So if we look back over the last 3 quarters, now, like I said, now that might be a little bit low for her, just simply because she did have that 1 quarter, Q3, where she went off food a little bit, right? Which is fine, right? Not a huge deal, but just missed a couple of meals. So that's gonna bring the overall average down. But if we just use that average, that means she'll gain 743 grams over the next 3 quarters. So by the end of September, we should expect her to be about 1960. So just under 2,000 grams for Bubbles is what our expectation will be for her. Now, as she's eating a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger meals and is eating more consistently again, I really think she'll probably be over 2,000 grams. But that's kind of what we'll be shooting for. Now, Bubbles is a couple months younger than Cutie, so she probably won't go into the breeding rotation right away. Probably won't go in right in November. We may hold her off till December or so, give her a couple more months to put on a little bit more weight. Of course, we want to make sure the body condition's there and all that, but should be around, like I said, about 2,000 grams when we get ready to pair Miss Bubbles up. So we will leave it with her saying goodbye to the camera. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. Really nice look at both Cutie and Bubbles. Looks like they're going to be ready this coming October and November. So we're really, really excited to start that next part of our journey. So do me a favor, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Cutie and Bubbles. Think if they're going to be ready or not. And we've got some really big plans for them, right? So don't forget to follow us over on Instagram, guys. Definitely would appreciate your support over there. And guys, that's all I got for you today. So everyone have a great week. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.